Well, I'm Claire and this is Stephen. We are husband and wife for just coming up for 9 years, and we have three children, Oliver, Hannah and Louis. Oliver will be 7 tomorrow, Hannah is 4 and Louis will be 2 on Friday. So all young and very busy. We are originally from Scotland, where life was busy. Life was cold. Life was good, but it wasn't anything special. It was just living each day, going through the motions. Stephen worked 3 jobs when we were in Scotland, so he was very, very busy. And myself, I'm self-employed and also look after the kids. So, it was just a different lifestyle.
We looked at moving abroad for years, and even before we got married, and we always put it on a back burner. Then we started having kids, and it just always seemed this distant dream. And then we started to take it a little bit more seriously after Louis was born, our third kid, and we looked at a lot of places. And Bali actually came onto the radar extremely late through a great friend of mine. And compared to the UK, it's a lot further away than some of the other places. But when we visited, it had what we were looking for more than anything. And that is just the right environment to bring up our kids. With a laid-back lifestyle that values health, but also having a good time, being a good person. And for us, I don't think there's anywhere that's perfect, but Bali is the closest thing we can get to it. So the real big reason for the move, we just weren't in the right environment for how we wanted to live life, and Bali helps us do that. Normally starts at the crack of dawn with waking kids. Breakfast, sun lotion, get them ready for school, and then Claire does the school run.
Yeah. We leave around 7:30. The kids go to school in Canggu. So in the morning, at that time, it's about half an hour to get to school. Get them all in, safely dropped off, and then usually I head back to Canggu, which can take, same again, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes now that the traffic's picked up again. When I get back, I get into doing some work. So I either work from home or I go to a co-working space somewhere locally. One of my favorites is in Coffee, whereas you have already started your working day by then.
Yeah, when the kids leave, I pretty much get straight to it, work, train at the gym, and then in the afternoon take care of a couple of meetings and calls. We've got business back in the UK, so with clients and guests arriving later in the day, our time. Sometimes that populates the later afternoon. Then we'll have family dinner, head to the beach for sunset walk. That's one of our favorites. And then kids' bedtime, wrap up some tasks for the day and get ready to go again. We've got a property business here in Bali. So we were doing viewings for both our business, but also trying to find a home for our family. And this villa came around through a mutual friend, and whilst it was being constructed, it was really fortunate. It just shows the power of knowing great people, and having good relationships, like people like Simone who can put you in contact. So yeah, it has everything that we need, and we were lucky to get in shortly after we arrived, and now it's home.
One of the biggest differences is probably fairly obvious, is the weather. So back home in Scotland is very cold most of the time, rainy, windy, whereas here, shorts and t-shirts all the time, which is a big win for us. That was one of the things that was on our tick list when we were choosing where to live. Other big differences, I think the people is another big difference. The people in Scotland are very friendly, but they're very hard people. They're very, we use a word thrawn back home. They're just thick-skinned, very tough. Whereas here, everyone we've met that's from Bali are such warm and open and easygoing people who will do absolutely anything they can to help you. And there's also such a nice sense of spirituality as well, which I love. Just real openness. That's the best way I could describe it.
I think the cost of living's awesome. You can go out and have a great time without spending an absolute fortune. I think that's really appealing for a lot of people. And my favorite thing is that everyone wants to be here. The locals are so passionate about Bali and they're so proud of it. They never want to leave. Then you've got the next group of people, tourists who have, this is their vacation. They've actually come here and they're having a great time. And then you've got the expats who have decided to move their whole life here and their family, and they've chosen to be here. And I don't think it's very often that you get most of the people in one place who have actually chosen to be there and are really happy to be there. And that has a really distinct impact on the energy and how people live life here. So for me, that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was meeting parents from other kids in the school. What I really liked, our kids go to Bumi Bali school. It's an international school. You've got people from all walks of life. And small things like kids' birthday parties, or one of the parents had a brunch last week and all the parents got together while the kids were at school. And it was really cool. Everyone's on a very similar journey. Most people are quite entrepreneurial and they're building a business or a brand. And they're just really open, down-to-earth people. There's no one in the group that's a bad egg. And for us, that was a really important part because we had a solid base for that in Scotland. And it was one of the things that we missed. So to have great people around you certainly makes it feel a lot more like home.
The kids have transitioned to Bali really, really well. It's actually been a big relief for, I don't know about you, but for me. I wondered how it would go, and they have settled so well. The school they love, and they've made some really nice friends in the school, which I think has helped. But they just love the lifestyle. Like, as we were saying, there's so many different things to do here for children. There's so many different activities that you can go and do. You can get out and about, even if it's just going down to the beach. There's always something different to do. So they just really like being... The alternative environment has just helped them really come out their shells, I think, and they love it. One of the other big things that we have managed to do since moving to Bali is we have an awful lot more time to spend with each other, which has been a very big positive for us. Back home, we would have just worked and not really made our relationship a priority, whereas here because of the cost of getting help and just going out for a simple meal is so much more affordable, so much more doable, we prioritize that time together, and maybe once a week we get a nanny and we go out, just us, and enjoy an evening together, which has been a huge benefit for us, not only just between us, but I think also as a family, because the kids have learned to be away from us. The kids have experienced time with somebody local and learning new things, and we've managed to, go back to being together and just having a good time, and just having time one-on-one, which has been brilliant.
We always moved here to embrace the culture.
Yeah.
Even on small levels of my limited Bahasa, but just taking a genuine interest in how people do things here. It's a very different way of living. The one thing I can say that I've incorporated the most is slowing down. Used to and still often attempt to be at 100 miles an hour a lot of the time, more. But the Balinese have got a real way of building rest into life, which I probably needed. So it's really the balance and how you incorporate that positive influence, and even the food. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. The kids do a lot. Again, speaking about the school, they probably are exposed to it a bit more than us. They have Bahasa lessons every week, maybe 2 times a week for each of them, I think. And they also do a Balinese culture lesson twice a week. So they're learning about different things that happen in the temple, or beliefs, or gods, or any of these things. They're learning about all of that at school. And then they also have, which they love, on a Thursday, they all have to wear traditional Balinese dress to school. So they've really embraced that, and they absolutely love going out in their Balinese dress, which is really nice. They look really cute.
I think the cost of living's for the quality of life that you get is really good. Even going out for a meal with the kids, etc., it's a lot more affordable than it is in other areas similar to it. Some things are a lot more expensive. I think drinking alcohol is quite expensive. But in terms of, getting a villa, having some people to help, and then being able to go out and enjoy some social meals, I think it's very affordable.
Yeah. The only thing that would be something, not caught us off guard, because we knew that was the case, but Bali compared to home is a very upfront culture. So you pay for everything for like a year or 2 years or 3 years in advance. So like the villa needed to be paid for 3 years. Your gym membership needed to be paid for however long, health insurance, all these things. Whereas that wasn't something that really happened back in Scotland. You could put everything on monthly, and it didn't really cost you any more to do that. Whereas here, if you do want to do it monthly, it's going to cost you an awful lot more in the long run. So that's a big difference for us to take into consideration when we moved here.
And I think just having some help, having someone to help clean the house, etc., is really well.
Yeah, well priced. Yeah.
The other thing is just going away day trips, or overnight trips, staying in an Airbnb and stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a whole ton of day trips when we've had guests or family visiting, and that's a lot more affordable. It makes things much easier when you can just go away for the weekend on the same budget, rather than having to travel all the way and all the way back. And compared to Scotland, the safari, the zoo, these landmark attractions are all very affordable. Yeah, it's very fast and efficient service. What we've needed.
Yeah.
A lot of people grudge paying for healthcare, especially if you come from the UK, because you have the National Health Service. Not to get political, but it's, when you see the speed and the efficiency and the help that you can get, you don't mind paying for it.
Yeah. Other services that we've used, I'm trying to think. You've used the healthcare. You've been to see a physio for your shoulder, and you said they've been brilliant.
Phenomenal. Very, very affordable as well. It's like £20 for the hour. World-class physio, phenomenal equipment, very experienced, and most importantly, helped.
Absolutely.
But in the UK, it'd be significantly more to go private.
So we have a property company back in the UK, and we also have one here in Bali. So when we moved, we had one Airbnb up and running, and since we've come, we've got a few projects kind of in the pipeline just now. So opportunities have really opened up. There's a lot of, like Stephen said about finding this villa, it's a lot about who you know and the connections you can make. So we're still in the process of finding places that we can connect with people and network and just meet with people who can present different opportunities for us to grow and scale that business, which is our plan long term.
I think if anything, the biggest influence Bali's had on my professional life is evaluating what I want, and that's time, the slower pace of life, and just actually being present with the kids and enjoying the time that we've got together. Previously was chasing different goals, but now feel that they are still important, but now is also important, and to enjoy and embrace the time that we've got. Simone was phenomenal. But even from when we first reached out, she was really accommodating. We had a great call, and I'm someone who just likes ease, convenience, direct answers, and Simone could provide that in abundance. Moving on from that initial call where we got the silver package, she put us in contact with so many people in that specific field that we needed, whether it was to start up a business, whether it was to find a villa, different services, etc. Her help, assistance, and most importantly, her knowledge is phenomenal. As we've touched on already, the importance of knowing the right people in the right place in Bali, like most places, is absolutely integral to just how smooth that transition is. And of course, in the world of AI, it's great. You can use all this different stuff, but nothing compares to someone who actually has that human connection and can put you in contact with that person.
Yeah. And even since we've moved here, she's been on hand if we've had any questions about anything in particular, or if there's anything specific that we're looking for, that she could connect us with someone. So, the help isn't just pre-move. She also is there for you post-move, which is amazing. And she really has been fantastic. And her wealth, like Stephen said, her wealth of knowledge with things, the schools, the schooling systems, the locations of these places, real estate, it is endless. And the packing lists and things that she gives you as part of the packages, the detail is second to none. So she's put her heart and soul into what she does, and it shows. And I'd recommend her to anybody that was planning to make the move, for sure. I would say if it's on your heart and it's you think that it's something a passion or a dream you should follow, just do it. Don't think about anything else, just do it, because there's always going to be a better time. There's always going to be more money. There's always going to be people that you miss from back home. There's always going to be...
I agree that if it's what you want, but you got to be realistic. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be hard bits. There's going to be bits you miss, but there's a reason that you want to leave or move and find a different environment. And if that outweighs it for you and how you want to live, it's, for us, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And yeah, every day wake up grateful. We've still got problems. We're still
Life
human
still
beings.
happens.
We've got kids and business. It does make it a little bit easier to work through the problems when you're somewhere beautiful like Bali. But on the whole, life is still life. It is what you make of it. I think you've got to embrace the environment wherever you move to. But with the help of, for example, Simone, it makes that transition a lot smoother, a lot easier. But you got to become clear on what you want. And if Bali's a good fit, I don't think anywhere's perfect in the world. There's going to be things that you don't like. And I like to be realistic. But for us, it was the best all-rounder and very high up on the list.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it feels like home. And we said we'd be here for the next season of life. Just think that season of life will be a bit longer than maybe we expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if I was to tell myself anything, is just to give yourself time and space. The highs are high and the lows are low. And although there's been a lot more highs than low, sure, the new environment, when you're going through some tough stuff, it can be, you feel a little bit more isolated. But I think how you go about that is an independent thing. But in short, there's always going to be challenges in life. For us being here, there was a lot more pros than cons, so to say. But the highs, being here, watching the kids, the weather, the people, the lifestyle, riding around on the bike, the great coffee, the great wine, the food, it's phenomenal. But sometimes when you hit a tough spot, it can be really tough. So I think if I was to say anything to myself before we left, is just enjoy the experience, the good bits and the hard bits. Just give yourself space and time to work through them.
But the word that I kept thinking of was embrace it. You know, it's a big decision to decide to move hundreds and hundreds of miles away. But I think before we came, I was so focused on the planning and the what will this look like? What is this going to be like? What is this going to be like? There's so many questions that I didn't know the answers to, and I wasn't going to know the answers to, that I forgot to just embrace the fact that we were following a dream that we've had for such a long time. And yeah, I think that would be my biggest thing I could have told myself was embrace it and just let yourself feel the joy. Yeah, like Stephen says, there's going to be hard moments. There's going to be things that are tough, but just, yeah, embrace life and embrace where you are, and I have to remind myself every day that this was something we've dreamt of for a long, long time, and we're here and we're living it.